you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Rick. Rick is an example for us for the Pathways program, because it's a brand new program, and you're ahead of everybody. So not only did you do your first speech last week, this is your second speech. So every time you do a new pathway, the first 3 projects are the same in every pathway. And then the second portion is to do the same speech twice, which is great because you build on the foundation you built the week before. And also, this is almost like when you're in a contest, because when you're in a contest, usually you do your speech and you keep doing it and you practice it until you get better. So it's good practice to do that. First thing I really liked what you did is you gathered yourself first. This is really good because a lot of times when you do a speech, you maybe get a little nervous, you just want to come up here and do it, but you gathered yourself and realize the clock doesn't start until you either say something or you do a deliberate movement. So you can do a Joseph Carty, for those who know who Joseph Carty is, and stand up here for like 2.5 minutes and do nothing. But once you do something, you're on. Time starts. Also, I noticed you were more expressive. You started out more expressive and you were using more gestures. They were in the box, but they were definitely more gestures, which is good because it emphasizes some of the points that you're making. You didn't use any notes. I thought that's outstanding. That's a huge step. And because you weren't using notes, you were using more eye contact, which will help you connect with the audience. Now, areas of improvement, again, another thing I was looking at is your pace. And when you're challenging yourself like you were, sometimes you might be a little nervous and you still spoke a little bit fast because some of your jokes won't work if you're speaking fast. Knowing some of my jokes don't work, sometimes I'm not speaking fast because that's the side point. But you were speaking a little fast, and also you were trying to use the stage more, but you ended up pacing. So you should watch this on the video because you were pacing a little bit. You want to kind of talk to folks on one side, maybe express something over here, so that you're using more of the stage on purpose. Other areas, when you started, your biggest punchline is you were talking about all these treasures. And then you said, I found the real treasure. Pastries. Hold it. Hold it so that we feel it. And then also, you have a tremendous knowledge of pastries. You could have dug in a little deeper and made us salivate just a little bit more. I think Rick is a true junk food junkie. He knows a lot about pastries. And also, the other thing is, you kind of lost it towards the end because, again, you were speaking really fast and you were doing really well. But one thing we all need to do, and I know I myself need to do better, is to breathe better and be in more control of when you're speaking. Because when you're breathing thoracically, which is what you're doing, the oxygen's not going to your brain, and you start forgetting things, and you kind of forgot towards the end. And also you notice you started using more filler words, because you started using so and so. I noticed that. But overall, for your second speech, you built on it tremendously. You might think you had a few issues here and there, but you made huge strides because you came up here and used no notes, and you connected with the audience much better. And you also recognized the importance of having that simple structure of speaking a little slower, because you had plenty of time. You could have spoke a little slower, but that comes with practice. And practice breathing. Breathing so that when you get to your conclusion, you can feel comfortable in having a pause, gather your thoughts, and then go right into your conclusion. Remember, the conclusion is telling us what you just told us. And you started telling us about the treasures and the history and the coal mining and all that. But the real treasures are the pastries. Because it's bang, boom. But other than that, you have a great foundation to work from, and I look forward to your third speech, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you.
And I took more than 3.5 minutes. Yeah.